Welcome to the Digital Amateur Television Experimenters Night. This is VK7OTC, the club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania. Amateur radio is a worldwide hobby that has many different aspects. Digital television is just one of the many modes and areas that are covered. Maybe you're interested in becoming involved in the DATV Experimenters Nights. Do you realise that you do not have to be a radio amateur or need any ATV equipment to participate anywhere in the world? Also participate on the night by coming up to the Queen's Domain club rooms. Yes, right on top of the Queen's Domain in the heritage-listed Coast Wireless Station. You never know, we might get you in front of the camera or behind, doing one of the many roles during the night. We get underway with our program on a Wednesday night from 7:30pm local time. We'll see you soon. This is VK7OTC.
Okay, this is VK. Ooh, let's get rid of that echo. This is VK7OTC, the club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania, with our ATV Experimenters Night. And I just realised I'm trying to blend in with the chroma key screen. Anyway, it's probably good that we don't have something on the chroma key screen, because half of me would disappear. Okay, first of all tonight, come in.
Do you want tea?
Come in. Oh, you can sit next to me, or I was just about to do a reminder of RD logs. So there you go. Now let's hang on. Let's go to that camera.
I'm back again.
And welcome, Hayden VK7HH. How you doing?
Good.
Excellent.
I could see you looking at me, thinking you wanted me for something, and I wasn't sure what.
Well, it was either you or we might get Andrew in a little bit later from up north. So we've got a visitor tonight in Andrew, VK7DW. So we might get him in. But my number one on the list is...
Yes, RD. Now RD contest logs. Ben 7BN was saying that VK6 has put in a few more. So if you haven't done it yet, do it. Yes. We need as many as possible.
Yes. And if you're listening, Alan.
If you only made one contact in the RD contest, it doesn't matter. Put the log in anyway.
Correct, because it's about participation. Yep. Participation. Yep. So yes. Last weekend, Warren sent me the count, and we were at 37. And VK2 I think was at 35, and then VK6 and VK3 were at 32 or something like that. Anyway, but that can just tip the balance fairly quickly.
37 is still pretty good.
It's excellent. It is excellent, and I have to thank Vince there for his geeing everybody up.
And Richard.
Yes, definitely.
Yep.
Definitely. To getting everybody and I certainly had a lot of fun.
No, it was good.
It was good stuff. It was good. I'm glad I took the Friday off to set up, and then the Monday off to recover. Though.
Yes. I didn't have that luxury, but that's okay. I didn't score as
You're
many
young.
points. I didn't
You're
score
young.
I didn't score as many points as you, I don't think either.
You're young.
Yeah, that's right.
But those the microwave 6-pointer during the night was what pushed Richard over 1,000. So I think.
And he worked you on 10 gigs?
Yeah, well, truly. and Rex. So, and we did that every 3 hours. So it was we certainly, which was good, because it's actually the first time. Actually, I've never mentioned this. It was the first time that I'd actually used the 1.2 metre dish on 10 gigs in anger. I'd received on it, but I hadn't actually transmitted on it.
Yeah.
So, and it was on the new mount that I talked about at Gippsland.
Yep.
So that was on the new mount, and fortunately I did negotiate at home that I could take over the sunroom, so that I was actually inside, which was quite good during the weekend, because it was
cold.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, now one thing I was going to show you, and this is an addendum to the spot welder saga, which our viewers and listeners have heard a little bit about it this a couple of DATV nights ago. This spot welder is a bit of a saga in that I broke the potato masher, the stainless steel potato masher. And as people know, I'm big into reuse, recycle, etc., repair.
Yep.
So I frequent my favourite shop up in South Hobart a little bit, but and I came across this this particular transformer at the resource tip shop that was suitable for a particular spot welder. I have learnt a little bit about spot welders since then, and I now realise that probably the transformer and the way it's wound is probably not suitable. But that's learning.
Yeah,
it's learning. It's learning. So I am actually rewinding that particular transformer, so that. But one of the key things here is all the things I read about a spot welder is you actually do the timing side of it, so the actual time that it's energised, with a timer circuit on the primary side of the transformer. So you need to be able to switch obviously 240 volts up to 10 amps, and eBay is your friend here, which if I go to there, you'll notice this is a little unit. Oh yes, no, we're still there. That's what's going to air. Sorry, that just flicks momentarily to where you go to, and then goes back to the monitor screen. This is all of $4.50 and free shipping. So I bought a couple of these. And it's a little. There's a couple of configurations of these that are available on eBay. There is this one, which is purely basically a timer circuit, where you can. One of these buttons you can see increases the value, and then if you push this, it goes to the next decimal point, and then if you push it again, it goes to the next decimal point. So that effectively is 222 seconds.
Yep.
The minimum is a second. The maximum is 999 seconds. So what we'll do is I'll make this. That's it. I'll make this 2 seconds. You've got both the normally open and normally closed circuits outputs of the relay that come out on this block, and that end of the board is very nicely isolated from everywhere else. And in fact, the switching for the relay is done by an optocoupler, and the input to the relay, the input, the actual trigger, is also isolated by an optocoupler. So it's quite well made. Quite well made. This middle pin here, you supply it with 12 volts. This middle pin here is the trigger, and if you trigger it up to 12 volts, there we go, it counts down and switches off. So, oh, hang on, no, that was wrong. Let me just do that slightly longer. 1, 2, and go from 5 seconds, and then we'll trigger it, and you can hear the relay there, and then it switches off. Yep. So, so that's the timer circuit, and I've got a few of them because I thought, I can always use another one of them, and it's $4.50. So if I blow this one up, I've got another one in spare. So that's the timer circuit that I'm actually using on the relay, on the transformer. So that's one last bit of componentry that the only thing is I've got to work out how to bring those switches out to sort of something that's outside of a box that, anyway, work on that one. And there's a couple of configurations of this that are available. There's actually one that has 3 buttons you can put into a whole lot of different modes, which counts up, counts down, takes different input pulses, so a leading edge or a trailing edge, all of that sort of stuff. So there's different configurations available of these, but this one I seem to be the simplest for what I was actually wanting, and I'm not wanting sub 1 second, so hey. So anyway, that's the counter circuit that's available for next to nothing. Now the other thing I was going to show you is a little while ago I had the Nano VNA that I showed the other day. What I have actually done, and you'll notice that there's no there's no USB connected to this, because I got hold of a LiPo battery, which you can see just inside there, along there. That's that silver bit along there.
Yep.
And that's double-sided taped to the board. Little 3.7 volt LiPo battery, because there is a LiPo charger built into these. Some of them come with batteries, some of them don't come with batteries. So what I thought I'd do here is just go through and show you, because I showed you before, if we go to 70 megahertz and then a stop of what do we do, 120 megs, and I've noticed that it doesn't remember, one of the things it doesn't remember, there we go, channel, and we do a channel through. So what I've just done is configured it so that the transmit and the receive port, so the receive port and the transmit port, are now through, and I've got my little FM band filter, which is I bought for the SDR originally. So this is reputedly 88 to 108 megahertz, and guess what? that notch looks very like 100. We've got at the start here it's 70 megs, and at the finish it's 120 megs. So if I move the cursor down to the bottom of, you can see there's a little blue cursor here. That is 106.5 at the bottom there. So 108 somewhere around about, I hope, the 3 dB point, which is about there. And I'm not quite sure what that scale is down the side, but anyway, I'll find out what that is. Now if we go to the other side where it starts to rise up, which is right about there, it's 88.5. So there you go. So and it's now in a portable form, and I have actually used it. I used it just before the RD to retune my 630 meter antenna for 160 meters.
Yep.
And got some good comments about that, because it was a loud and boomer signal, which I thought, yes, excellent. And my prize contact during the RD was 160 meter contact with VK6. So I was very happy about that. So and then used it to tune it back to 630 meters. And yeah, and it was very nice, very easy to do, very easy to operate. So the whole bit.
It's tiny.
Yeah, well, and in fact
that's why it's called a Nano VNA.
The only real negative comments I've read is the writing's too damn small. Which it is.
I can see the scale. I'm just rising it back up. So there's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's you mentioned the dip. So the bottom of that dip at 106 megahertz is about 70 dB down. So that's pretty good for that little.
For a little passive, it's passive.
Yeah.
So yeah. But and the top. Those 4 traces, you can set up what those trace colours are and what each of them does. That's giving you so the level and the reading that it's taking.
Yep.
So, but that's the key thing. It's just very small, and your frequency down here is the same font size. So,
but
anyway.
very good for portable though.
Oh, well, and yeah, and dynamic range is not not your $1,000 one, but that's what you expect for. I paid $100 and they're down to about 50 by now. So you might as well have one in your glove box.
Yeah.
A bit like what multimeters used to be. You know. Anyway, so
and with a small directional coupler, you could measure antennas. Maybe if you're doing SOTA or something and you don't have an SWR meter.
Well and truly.
Something like that.
Well and truly.
Yep.
And you actually don't even need the directional coupler.
Oh.
You can just configure it so that it's straight out of here.
Mm.
So and in fact it will already also be channel. So reflect 0 is
okay.
reflect.
Yep.
And then you can put it into display and the trace. Oh no, sorry, that's the trace color format. SWR. There's your SWR.
Yeah, okay.
And you just go off your transmit port.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So
it's a mini analyzer.
So it is truly a 2-port VNA.
Yep.
Which is one other thing. And one of the reasons I bought it was it goes down to 50 kilohertz, which for the 630 meters and 2200 meter, that's what I actually wanted.
Yep.
Because a lot of them sort of start at a meg and go up.
Yep.
So anyway, that's the rest of that's the VNA. Now I just had a reminder here. Streaming now, and I have actually changed slightly the encoding method.
Maybe I should bring it up live and we'll see what it looks like.
It's actually now doing 32-bit sharpening, which I'm hoping is a little bit better. It is 1024 by 768. Yeah, it's a bit fuzzy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's still a bit fuzzy. And how does it go?
There's a bit of delay.
Oh, that's right. How does it go with movement and
yep.
tearing? Yeah, no, it's still tearing.
Yep.
Okay. No, all right. That's a good test.
I'll just see what that's actually streaming at too. Well, that's at 480. So let's go.
Yeah, we'll see if we're going out at.
Oh, that's 720 now, which is still.
Yeah, it's still, you can see the edges.
A bit grainy, yeah.
Okay, no, we have to work on that.
Yep.
We'll have to work on that. But the key thing is the streaming, although the quality may not be up to scratch yet, the streaming is going out. The easiest way to get to it is via the Facebook page, I think. Is that right? Facebook page?
There'd be a link there somewhere.
Yeah. Facebook page? Or is it the Reese website? No, it's the Reese website. Sorry, it's the Reese website. So go to the website and there's a page there which actually you pull down the menu and it's got streaming there. So if we're streaming, that's where it will be on a Wednesday night. We are also, in that streaming, we record that stream. I do a little bit of editing before we go live and then it goes live a day or so later. So it's available if you miss it, available later, available online, etc. So now I want to do a bit of a promo and first of all thank Damien Stiles VK7SD and Alan VK7KAN. Oh, pardon. Sneeze on air. I'm sure I can edit that out.
Straight into the microphone.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'll wake everybody up next door.
Yeah.
Both Damien and Alan work at the ABC, and on the 25th of September, which is our September presentation night, we will be all heading to the ABC studios down the hill and getting a wonderful behind-the-scenes tour of the ABC television and radio studios on the 25th. So I thank Damien for that. Excuse me, I'm just going to blow my nose.
Second edit for the night.
Yeah, sorry, second edit for the night. Oh, it was that jalapeno chilies that I had earlier. Bit fond of jalapenos. So a huge thank you to Damien and Alan for that and showing us through both the TV and ABC TV and radio studios down the hill. And we were there probably 3 or 4 years ago, and there was an awful lot of work going on in their control centre. And I'm very interested in seeing how much that's progressed.
I've actually been there.
Okay.
And yeah, it's quite good.
Okay.
So
cool.
Anyone that's interested in going will find it a very good tour.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Lots of flashing lights and buttons and controls.
I know the control where all of the equipment was. There was a lot going on in that space last time, and that was pretty impressive when he was starting to describe the sort of stuff that was in the racks and what they were able to do, and all sorts of stuff. And it was also the changeover to everything being streamed via Sydney.
Yes.
So there was a bit of a hybrid arrangement that they were doing there, which was so I'm interested to see what a full sort of arrangement is in place.
Yep.
So it's good. So and what have you been up to, Hayden, just lately in relation to amateur radio? Anything interesting?
Oh, can I plug?
You can. Of course you can plug. Of course you can plug.
Well, a majority of my updates lately have been either on my Facebook page, so you can do a search for that, either my call sign, VK7HH, or Ham Radio DX, as I'm also known as now. That's the YouTube channel. Did a couple of uploads. So the first upload that I did the other day is, I did a review on the RigPi.
Okay.
Remote RigPi.
Yep.
I won't go into too much detail. Anyone that's interested can watch the video.
Yep.
But
that's the MFJ.
Yep, the MFJ 1234.
Okay.
And there's now a giveaway for that RigPi.
Okay.
So all the information's on the YouTube channel on that video. So
cool.
Go there, have a look if you want to win a RigPi.
Woohoo!
And the latest upload, which was today, was on a log periodic antenna which I mounted at the end of a grid, and we did a on-air test locally on 3.4 gigs. So
this is a little PCB.
Yep.
Log periodic.
Tiny little PCB.
Yep.
Just about $15 or so, and it worked quite well.
And you said earlier the comparison between the before and after was
So for those that are familiar with the Geelong 3.4 gig panels, the panel antennas, we tested it against the panel antenna, and it was about 2 or 3 S points better and a lot more directional. The log periodic antenna, all I did was just mount it roughly about the same spot as where the old dipole for 2.4 gigahertz was.
Okay.
So I haven't optimised anything, but it worked quite well. The only thing is, don't put any more than about 20 watts into it because it does start to smoke. So
right.
I did learn that. It still works. And in actual fact, it was quite funny because once I did that the first time, the signal strength actually come up. So
right, okay.
So perhaps we've tuned it, tuned it with power.
For thermal tuning, yes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's interesting, and there's been quite a few people that have been commenting on the microwave stuff. So
okay, cool.
Hopefully developed a bit of interest in.
Well and truly. Well and truly.
Not just in Australia either.
Okay. A
guy commented on the video today, and he said that he wished that there was more people doing it in Southern California.
Wow. Okay.
I thought there would have been plenty of people.
I agree.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, fantastic. Good stuff. And the YouTube channel again?
Ham Radio DX.
Cool. Ham Radio DX.
Yep. We're up to 820 subscribers. Nearly to the 1,000.
I love it. Is there a special prize for the 1,000?
No, you can do certain things at 1,000.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Things become much more attractive.
Yeah, they do. But yeah.
Okay.
1,000's a good number.
Okay. Cool. Look forward to it. Now, can I ask you to go and grab Andrew for me? And thank you, Hayden.
No
Very
problems.
good.
I'll go get
Ham
Andrew.
Radio DX YouTube channel. And what we'll do is go to Oh, no.
Welcome to the Digital Amateur Television Experimenters Night. This is VK7OTC.
Come in, Andrew.
The club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania.
We're going to put you in the hot seat.
Straight in the deep end. Oh dear.
This is
We're just doing a
VK7OTC.
quick promo there and back to here. All right. Now this is what's going to air. So very good. And I'd like to welcome back in the studio Andrew VK7 Delta Whiskey.
Delta Whiskey, correct?
Great call sign. But I'm a bit biased.
Yeah, you are a bit biased, that's right.
So welcome Andrew.
Thank you very much.
Now Andrew's down from the north.
Yes, Launceston.
From Lonnie. So, and is a regular, I think, at the technical nights?
Yes,
Is that, yes?
in Launceston.
Okay.
Yep.
And I read with interest about the technical nights in the broadcast each week. So,
Yes.
really good. And it's fantastic that we've got this going on both ends of the state. It's just...
Yeah, with plenty of activity and good discussion.
well and truly.
Yes.
So, Andrew, can you describe sort of the what brought you to amateur radio and sort of what floats your boat in amateur radio?
Well, it was a friend of mine, really. We were both into marine radio,
Okay,
and then we
okay.
sort of he had a scanner. We
Yep.
used to listen to a lot of HF, and then we thought, well, we'll try and actually get active.
We can actually do that.
We sort of looked up the local club and got our licences,
Okay.
F calls, and then, to be honest, I didn't really understand the widespread of amateur radio.
Okay.
So when I got the F call, I started getting on HF, and then you start to talk to people and different bands, different modes, and
Correct.
then it opens up the Pandora's box of what do you focus on?
And before you know, you've got 14 rigs in front of you and you
Yeah.
don't know which one to use.
Exactly, and digital modes and all the rest of it. So
Okay.
I guess a challenge of learning
Okay.
all the different modes. And
Have you got a particular area that you're sort of focusing on, or a bit of a broad sweep, sort of?
sort of developing, just talking with Hayden, a bit of microwave gear we've
Ooh, okay.
got going in the north.
Cool.
Need to do some more testing to
Is this the 3.4 gig?
3.4.
Fantastic.
So they're sort of working, but not as well as
Yeah.
what we'd like.
Ditto.
Yeah, so working on that, and like a lot of people have a lot of local noise on HF, so I like to activate
Go up.
and
Yeah,
do
yeah.
Soda and
Okay.
Parks activations. So
Okay.
that's my main focus, I
Yeah,
guess. At the
yeah.
minute.
And there's a SOTA and worldwide flora and fauna sort of group that's fairly active. It's Peter and a whole lot of people.
Yeah, yep.
So, which is fantastic, because I really should be doing more soda, but the weather's got me right at the moment. So,
Well, it's just good, if you've got a couple of hours to spare, in between family commitments, you can sort of disappear and
oh no, spot on.
and then come back. So it's good. It's
Okay.
good to. And there's a lot of regular people you make
Yep.
contacts with doing that
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing, and on the Facebook groups, and so it's good. So
And you end up with friends all over the world.
yeah, it's quite amazing, and even on the digital modes, of course,
Yep.
which makes worldwide contacts that much easier.
Spot on.
And it's quite amazing how quickly the logbook can fill up.
Fill up, and you can you start to think about things like DXCC and all sorts of stuff. It's
It's quite amazing. It's starting to
so-
grow quicker than I actually thought.
Yep.
And recently got an automated logging program, but
Okay.
I actually didn't realise it was logging automatically.
Okay.
I was digging around with FT8, and
oh yeah.
it was probably a month or so later I opened up the EQSL and the inbox was full. I didn't realise I was automatically sending
Oh, okay,
58
okay.
contacts, and
Okay.
yeah, so it's quite interesting.
Okay, yeah.
Probably sending people QSL cards that didn't really want QSL cards, but
Oh well.
anyway, it's an interesting part.
So you play with FT8 a little bit?
a little bit,
Okay.
yeah. Just HF at home's very hard
Yeah.
by voice.
Okay.
So if I'm in and around the shack doing things, you just have it running in the background, and,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
just it's quite amazing how many contacts you can make.
Oh, and when that particular part of the band is open, you can look across and it is full of FT8 signals. It's full of WSJT signals, and you just go, whoa, where did all those come from?
Yeah.
You know.
And you can sort of try bands that you probably wouldn't normally go on by voice, and you think, oh, it's working, and making contacts quite easily at times. I've got a very, very basic antenna set up in suburbia, so that's about all I can do.
So what sort of antenna are you using?
I just mainly run a G5RV.
Yes.
Do have a manual tuner with it as well, and I just run a station master vertical for 10 metres. And 6 metres at times. So it's pretty basic, but it works.
Oh no! Hey, my main HF antenna in the backyard is a G5RV. So I grew up with my old man was VK5TW.
Okay. Yep.
And he's unfortunately dead now, but he always ran a G5RV, and I reckon there were more bits of solder on his G5RV from repairs than there was actual wire.
Yeah.
It was always, he was always, oh no, I'll just repair it, I'll just fix it. And then when the ladder, because he used ladder line, television ladder line, that's that for the balance part of it. And the plastic was starting to, the UV got to the plastic and it was falling off. And he went, oh, you better replace that. So there's a new.
It still worked, no doubt. So it works. So sort of one of the projects on the go is probably looking at building a specified receive loop antenna or something like that I can try and get rid of some of the QRM.
Directional.
That's another little project on the shelf that I'm thinking about building. Got a couple of designs in mind. But as I was just talking to Hayden and a few of the others, I want to get a few other projects that have started. Off the shelf and then move on to the next one. So
I've got a bench full of projects right at the moment, so yes.
Seems to be pretty normal for amateurs to have things started and not finished. So.
They're round to it, and so occasionally the projects just drop off the side and they go in the round to it box.
And then somebody, like I was talking to Richard in there, you need to do this, and satellite rotators and azimuth, and you think,
I love it.
One thing at a time, but it's a part of the hobby that I didn't really expect. And it's great. It's a challenge. There's always something to get your head around and learn about.
Well and truly. And in fact, that's what these sort of nights are all about. It's people bringing along whatever, literally, and it doesn't necessarily need to be amateur radio. Like the timer circuit that I showed earlier. That's for a spot welder. So. And there's a bit of a saga to go with that, which I won't go into because I'll bore the users. They've heard way too much about this spot welder. But that's and that'll end up helping me, spot weld cases together and all sorts of stuff. And in this case, YouTube is your friend, as with a lot of things. So. And in fact, that's where I got onto the timer circuit. It's just it can be anything and everything, honestly. And after this, we're going out to try and repair the alarm panel. So there'll be all sorts of things.
And that is a part of the hobby that I didn't really expect. There's so many people experimenting with similar projects, and it's amazing what you can learn, and everyone's willing to share, and
it's that sharing that I think sort of sets it aside, because you learn something, you pass it on, then that person passes it on, and there's a whole sort of community that then writes it up in a blog or something, and suddenly you've got we now know how to do that, and all of this sort of stuff. So that's certainly something that floats my boat.
It's and obviously Rex and the cohorts with the 9700s, and
well and truly,
and just the developments that's happened there in the recent time, and it's quite amazing. It's a small world when you start talking about things like that, and everyone's got their say.
And ICOM have taken notice, so it's very interesting. It's very good.
So little old VK7's coming through well and truly again.
It might be a small state with a small population, but hey, we're loud.
All going well, but so it's interesting having this sort of mode, and We've done a little bit with slow scan TV and a little bit off the space station, and it just amazed me how, even with a vertical antenna, how well you can receive that.
Correct. In fact, Steve 700 runs a slow scan station on 20 metres constantly. He's that continuously runs, and he uploads the received pictures to the net. So it's a good test.
Yeah.
Because you can transmit a picture and then go to Steve's webpage, and you can actually see whether it comes up or not. So that's quite good. He may or may not be up tonight, but he's a regular at our.
His QTH is local.
He's local, yeah. He's in Glenorchy, and about to move into a new house that they're just finishing off. So yeah, he's definitely a regular in the slow scan space.
Yeah.
So and he also has played with loop antennas. So VK7HH, Steve. You might have seen some of his designs. He uses Helix.
Yes.
For 160 metres and 80 metres and sort of the lower bands. Steve's built a couple of those that he uses. So
I did read one of those articles. Quite interesting.
Yeah. Steve VK7HH has to have one of the better of the call signs. And he's quite a funny guy as well. Has done a lot of work in that space, and in fact, he may be one of the speakers at the WIA AGM when it's down here in May next year. Yes. He's actually put his hand up to do a talk about the loop antennas.
Oh, right.
So he may actually may be coming down and be bringing a presentation with him as well. So that might be a bit of a...
Well, his literature's pretty interesting. Obviously,
he's great.
He's pretty passionate.
Oh, definitely.
Passionate about it.
Definitely. So yeah. Anyway, that's fantastic.
No, I appreciate being able to come tonight and see the club rooms for the first time.
Yeah.
Put a few faces to the call signs that we've talked to.
Meet the voice. I love it.
Which is really great. So I appreciate being here and
good stuff.
Yeah, thanks very much.
That's great, Andrew. Well, I'll just let people know we've got a few videos tonight. We'll finish up, and we've got a few videos tonight, which include there's a couple of short videos on capacitors explained, power factor explained, and they're both from an engineering firm. So it's actually quite a good explanation. That's why I included them. And then K7AGE. If you frequent YouTube. I have no doubt, and you've looked for amateur radio videos on YouTube, you would have come across K7AGE, who does a lot of YouTube videos, a bit like Ham DX, which I'll just do another plug for Hayden there, YouTube. He has done a couple of recent videos on a visit to a antique wireless museum in Bloomingfield in the US, and then a little short video on building a 2 metre quarter wave antenna, which is a really quick, really nice little antenna. And then the final video, which is a little bit longer than the others, it's the TX factor from the UK. And it's the latest one, episode 23. So there are videos tonight, and we'll get underway with them in a short while. So thank you very much, Andrew, for coming through.
Thank you very much.
No, pleasure. And yeah, by all means, have a chat, have a coffee, have a hopefully learn something.
Yeah.
So and Andrew's dropped in from Launceston. Anybody can drop in up here at any stage on a Wednesday night. We're here from probably around 6 o'clock through until 10 o'clock. So anyone who would like to come up and see what we get underway, we might even get you in front of the camera. You never know. Don't let that scare you.
Got to be careful of that.
And the other thing is, if you've got something that you want to show and tell, or you want to get some advice on or whatever. One thing that's in the room next door, there is plenty of advice. It may or may not be helpful, but
Lost most club rooms.
But you never know. There may be someone who knows or can point you in the right direction. So yeah, that's what it's all about. Anyway, we'll get underway. This is VK7OTC, the club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania, with our DATV Experimenters Night, and we'll get underway with our videos. 73. So